I am happy to join with you today in what will go down in history as one of the greatest demonstrations for recognition in the history of our community. About 10 years ago, a great team of programmers in whose symbolic shadow we stand today created the game known as Oneshot. This momentous game holds a great deal of sentimental value to thousands of people who had been immersed in the grand storytelling of the game. It came as a joyous daybreak to end the long night of their story-rich depravity. But not all attention was given equally. 10 years later, the side characters still are not given attention. 10 years later, the life of the side character is still badly crippled by the mangles of neglect and the chains of what I call Niko fixation. 10 years later, the side characters live on a lonely island in the midst of a vast ocean of Niko prosperity. 10 years later, the side character is still languished in the corners of one-shot society and finds themselves in exile in their own land. So we've come here today to dramatize a shameful condition. In a sense, we've come to our community's capital to cash a check. When the programmers of our game wrote those magnificent words of the original, as well as the remake, they were signing a promissory note to which every character was to fall heir. This note was a promise that all characters, yes, main as well as side, would be guaranteed the unalienable rights of art, discussion, and the pursuit of attention. We must forever conduct our struggle on the high plane of dignity and discipline. We must not allow our creative protests to degenerate into verbal violence. This marvelous new militancy, which has begun in the one-shot community, must not lead us to distrust all Niko fans. For many of our one-shot brothers, as evidenced by their presence here today, have come to realize that their destiny is tied up with our destiny. We cannot walk alone, and as we walk, we must make the pledge that we shall always march ahead. We cannot turn back. There are those who are asking devotees of character rights, when will you be satisfied? We can never be satisfied as long as the side character is the victim of the unspeakable horrors of neglect. We can never be satisfied as long as the bodies of side characters, heavy with the pain of neglect, cannot gain lodging in the subreddits of Reddit and the tweets of Twitter. We cannot be satisfied as long as the side character's greatest piece of attention is from a tier list or a poll. We can never be satisfied as long as our characters are stripped of their identity and robbed of their dignity by posts showing only Niko. We cannot be satisfied as long as the characters in One Shot cannot have fan art, and the characters in Solstice believes they have nothing for which to exist. No, we are not satisfied, and we will not be satisfied until justice rolls down like waters and righteousness like a mighty stream. I say to you today, my friends, even though we face the difficulties of today and tomorrow, I still have a dream. It is a dream deeply rooted in the one-shot dream. I have a dream that one day this community will rise up, live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all characters are created equal. I have a dream that one day, on the red buildings of the refuge, creations of former scientists and the creations of former old world scientists will be able to sit together at the table of brotherhood. I have a dream that one day, even in the land of the barons, A land sweltering with the heat of injustice, sweltering with the heat of ignorance, will be transformed into an oasis of attention and art. I have a dream that my three little Solstice characters will one day live in a community where they will be judged not by their cuteness of their sprite, but by the content of their character. I have a dream. I have a dream that one day in the Glen, with its many ignored characters, with its fandom mainly consisting of a bird in blue, will one day, right there in the Glen, little bird boys and bird girls will be able to join hands with little robot boys and robot girls as sisters and brothers. I have a dream today. This will be the day when all Night Margin's children will be able to sing with new meaning. My community 'tis of thee. Sweet land of art, of thee I sing. Land where my characters died, land of side character pride. From every mountainside, let recognition ring. And if One Shot is to be a great community, this must become true. So let recognition ring from the prodigious hilltops of the Barrens. Let recognition ring from the mighty buildings of the refuge. Let recognition ring from the receding borders of the Glen. Let recognition ring from the past whispers of the solstice. Let recognition ring from the shining plates of even the margin of strange. But not only that, let recognition ring from the clock within the refuge. Let recognition ring from the lookout point of the Barrens. When we allow recognition to ring, when we let it ring from every city and every village, from every empty plot and full area, we will be able to speed up that day when Night Margin's children, robot men and burn men, humans and animals, object heads and plant people, will be able to join hands and sing in the words of the old solstice spiritual. Noticed at last, great Night Margin Almighty, we are noticed at last.